Hello and welcome. This is rooflemonger, and my friends, it's Mortal Kombat 1 time. We have a new Mortal Kombat 1 trailer to go through, and this time it is Geras. Yes, Geras is returning for Mortal Kombat 1. A newcomer in Mortal Kombat 11 originally, and a very strong addition to the series. The boy is coming back. I guess you can call him leaner and meaner, as he actually looks a little bit smaller now. A little bit less muscle mass, but he's got a whole bunch of new tricks. So let's rewind the video here and let's just break down everything, because there's quite a bit. So first thing out of the gate is how? Why? Geras was certainly opposed to Liu Kang last time around. What I'll do here is they did send me a press release, and I'll read to you what they wrote to me in the press release. Geras is an eternal being that has been reconstructed by fire god Liu Kang, retaining the memories of the innumerable timelines he has watched pass and fade. His unpredictable fighting style reflects his ability to manipulate the flow of time by freezing, rewinding, and replaying it to his advantage in service of protecting Liu Kang's vision. So this is the same Geras, basically, as he knows all the timelines, so he definitely remembers what happens with Kronika, so I have to assume this is just Geras on board with new management. Now, we get some pretty decent looks at his gameplay as well, and looks really strong, so let's break that down. So first we're getting a look at what is effectively a B&B combo, I would assume, for Geras, and looks pretty alright. So we have a string starter, which launches, and then we have a sandblast, which looks a bit like his old up 3 when he woke up. String here looks like it starts with like his old stand 1, and we continue an old trend of his in that he has hit throws off of his strings as he summons the Sands of Time, and he's literally smashing your head through the Sands of Time. So don't worry, we're keeping that like level of big boy brutality that he's had before. And on top of the brutality, yeah, we're keeping all the time stop nonsense as well. So we see the time stop here, hits full screen. I do want to show this off really quick though. Now, actually, for Baraka, so no longer is the projectile blade spark, he's actually shooting the actual spike at you. And you can see there's a little trail of blood there. So it keeps in the theme that a lot of his abilities that we've seen from before actually hurt him to use, which I think is really cool with how they've redesigned the character, much more fitting. And now the actual time stop here. So it takes a little bit to go off. It does activate before the projectile hits though, so it's not an anti-projectile move necessarily. And once it goes off, it brings Geras directly to the enemy. So this is more of a full screen version, I'm assuming, like a counterplay, a counter zoning kind of version of the move. And yeah, once you get it off, you're directly on top of the enemy and it's combo time. Sort of like how one of his variations, the old sand pit, it would basically go through projectiles, help you win counter zoning wars. That's my thought anyways. So follow up here, we get a big stomp string. And once the time stop's over, I'm guessing the stomp string launches, because then we have the pop-up, just like in MK11. And then we have air combos in MK1, right? So perhaps could be like 2-1, something like that. They land. You land, he summons this giant stone edifice and friggin' tackles you right through it. That is actually super, super sick. After that, we have a quick strike, call in the sector cameo, which causes a very long restand, as it would seem. So you can definitely get a lot of gimmicks off that, for sure. And then we go for his back throw, where he gives you the running bulldog, and his tag team partner himself comes from the sky, and then the former version of himself dissipates away. The second Geras comes in with like a battle axe, stabbing the guy in the back. But I love that. Like with Geras, you can be so creative with the moveset because the whole Sands of Time motif. So for the rest of the match, you're now playing this new second Geras. The first one, he just kind of faded away. Next, there's a little story blurb how Geras is the guardian of the Sands of Time and also the Hourglass itself, and it regulates time and destiny. As for the role he'll play in the importance of the plot, well, we'll have to wait and see on that. So now back to gameplay, we can see a quick string into a big sand dust storm, which is somewhat similar to his old sand pillars, rejuggles, recombo, so it's that same string we saw before, and now we see the time stop again, but this is a little bit different. So we can see that flash, meaning this is the EX version, so it comes out quite a bit quicker, almost like, say, his old back forward 1 EX. The old grappler splash is still there, uppercut, and the time stops, keeps the uppercut in mind, so it launches high, air combos, and then an air grab, going for a gigantic tombstone pile driver. And then this silliness. So Darius is not the most serious of characters, so Cameo comes in, does the kick, and his cameo animation involves the person swinging him around like a rag doll to hit the enemy with them. So very involved. I'm assuming this is the cameo, all of it, versus Geras has some weird ability to throw cameos around. I don't think that's what that is. But it's the exact right kind of silly that cameos need. Now, Geras' Fatal Blow. So a couple things to mention here. So one, I just like the start of it where he like snaps your neck and then does this cool sand teleports backwards. That is great. And if you played the beta at all, you know that Fatal Blows are not created equal. At the very least, how bad Katana's was compared to everyone else's, because like, holy crap, right? But this one, just going by the startup of the animation, you can see Rain is further away, right, when it starts. This looks like it's the kind where it may be like it tracks wherever you are on screen. So if that's the case and Geras just appears wherever you are, this is definitely like a never ever whiff anything anywhere on the kind of screen kind of Fatal Blow. And if so, it'll be pretty strong. As for the actual Fatal Blow itself, Darius can't do too much, right? So some basic strikes. But what Geras can do, now this is some wild stuff. So basically, an alternate reality where the same fight is happening at the same time is going on. The two timelines of Geras's switch foes and then smash their heads together. This I like a lot. Some more story bits. Geras says that Liu Kang relishes his role as Earthrealm's protector, and the things that he's done to make sure the timeline works out maybe are not working out so good. Talking about altering the destiny of malefactors, aka bad guys, right? To tame them, put them under heel. And of course, it's not going to work out so great. Spoiler, I don't even know the story, but if Shang Tsung's still a threat, obviously it didn't work out so good. Now that said, let's rewind a little bit because there is some interesting bits here. So here we are in this stage, which is the living forest, by the way. Not everyone's picked up on that, but you can definitely see the faces in the trees. Scorpion cameo restand, which you can combo from, so that's already going to be very strong. And not the least of which, cameo gets called again, shoots 2 fireballs. Hits point blank, so we don't get to see the range and the size, but still, that's going to be very good. Scorpion looks like a good cameo. Nighttime version of the Shrine stage. Most stages will have day and night versions, and they don't count as separate stages too, which is cool. Cameo throw for Sector. So, what you would expect, but it still looks really cool. Shooting all sorts of rockets. That's awesome. Also, keep in mind, throws for cameos are not universal in any way, shape, or form. Distances, damages, everything's not the same, right? They're unique for every character. So look at this way here. So forward throw does the cool animation and leaves you exactly full screen from the enemy. So if you're playing a more zoner style character, then maybe you got to consider someone like Sector. A forward throw resetting to full screen and thus having to start the whole zoning loop all over again in your favor. That's huge. That's worth more than like whatever damage the forward throw actually gives you. Keep that kind of stuff in mind when you're picking your cameos. Now, this little story bit here, this is cool. It's like Liu Kang assembling the zoo crew, right? And he's walking forward, looking important. Everyone's coming through the portal. Except there's a few people there. I'm not sure who they are. Like, who are you exactly? That's definitely not Kung Lao, because Kung Lao is actually behind Raiden. You can see his hat behind Raiden, right? So who's this guy kind of shrouded in behind everyone else? Just some faceless Shaolin guy? Or someone yet to be revealed? I guess we'll find out in time. Now on to some more tasty Geras gameplay here. So we see time stop again. This is the enhanced version. And we get some more strings. And as always, ends with a launcher. So when the time stop ends, you get launched. And then more air combos. We've seen quite a bit of those. Now here, combo breaker. And wait a second. Who's doing that? It's Frost. We can see her in action. And she does like a air dive kick with an ice spear. So good combo breaker stuff. Now this is what makes me happy. So Smoke throws a bomb, and it's basically like kind of like a full screen teleport as he appears on the other side attacking. Geras blocks and hits him with what looks to be a proper command grab. So those stone edifices we saw before, it's back. Oh, and by the way, he's going to kick your head right through it. Keeps the theme of what we saw before. A different timeline Geras is grabbing you, not that Geras. Couldn't be bothered. And then materializes through the timeline to beat you up and bully you. Now, we do have some fatality stuff. It's YouTube, so I can't show you, but I'll show you the start before stuff gets grody, because it gets grody. Liu Kang definitely using the full powers of his new godhood in this fatality, to say the least. So go watch the full proper trailer for that. So as far as the trailer goes, very impressed. Geras is always one of the characters I've liked the most in Mortal Kombat 11. My variation for Geras was Clock Lesnar, because, you know, time beating people up in a big guy way, right? And he still looks to have the dunks. He seems to have a command grab. He's got air grabs. He has all the usual time stop nonsense. So if you liked Geras before, this seems to be Geras, but just like Geras Plus. Myself, very impressed with what's here in this trailer. And knowing the trailers too, they're not showing us everything yet either, right? So there's going to be some more cool things to work through. The game's only like a month and a half away, and there's still so much we don't know, which is really crazy. EVO, very soon coming up, is literally right around the corner, and we're probably going to get more trailers, more info, and I'll do my best to break it all down for you when that happens. Mortal Kombat 1 looking pretty good, and I'm excited to see where it's all going to go. That all said though, we're at the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.